So let's talk about the three parts of the ear. So we have the external ear, middle ear, and internal ear. So let's talk about the external ear first. So our what we think of it as our ear is actually our auricle. And sometimes we call that our pinna. And the lobe of our ear is our lobule. And our ear canal, that is our external acoustic meatus. Sometimes we call this the external auditory meatus. The last structure of our external ear is our tympanic membrane, and sometimes we call this our eardrum. The other structures that we have in the middle ear are auditory ossicles. So the very first bone that we have in our middle ear would be our malleus. Our second bone that we have is our incus, and our third bone that we have is our stapes. Sometimes we call this the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. And the other structure that we have in our middle ear is our pharyngeal tympanic tube. Sometimes we call this our auditory tube. Another word for this is also called our eustachian tube. So there's sort of three terms there, right? And so again, this would be our middle ear. Finally, the last part of the ear that we're going to talk about is our internal ear, and that is a little bit too dark, so I am going to use a orange, our internal ear. And when we look at our internal ear, there's a few terms we need to know. We need to know the vestibule. So the vestibule is actually the entrance to this inner ear or into the bony labyrinth. And in order to get into the vestibule, the entrance is actually the oval window. And again, the oval window is a little bit hidden. It's actually going to be behind the stirrup. The other structure will be our semicircular canals, which are going to be involved in balance. The last structure you should know on here is our cochlea, right? And that's going to be involved in hearing. And the nerve you need to know here is a vestibular cochlear nerve, and that's going to carry information for both balance and hearing. So this is a model of the picture we just saw, and everything has been labeled for you. We have our auricle and our pinna, we have our lobule, we have our external acoustic meatus, we have our tympanic membrane, we have our malleus and our incus, and there's no stope. Then we have our stapes, we have the oval window, which is right behind the stapes. We have the cochlea, we have the semicircular canals, we have the vestibule, which is the entrance to the ear. We have the vestibular nerve, which is coming off the vestibule and the semicircular canals, and the cochlear nerve, which is coming off of the cochlea. And if you notice in the previous slide, we saw the vestibular cochlear nerve. Well, that's actually when they join together. Before, they're actually the vestibular nerve coming right off of the vestibule and the semicircular canals, and the cochlear nerve coming off the cochlea, and they merge together to form the vestibular cochlear nerve. So before we end, I want to give you an opportunity to pause the video and to look at these numbered structures of the ear and to maybe write them down or to kind of take a guess. So hopefully you take a little pause and you would have maybe guessed that one would be your pinna or auricle, two would be our external auditory meatus, uh, three will be our tympanic membrane. Four will be our eustachian tube. Five will be our cochlea. And again, that one is a little tricky, right? So that this picture I'm not a big fan of. So five is a little tricky. And then six, that is the semicircular canals. Okay, so hopefully you have found this helpful. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me. Have a good rest of your day.